Okay, I went yesterday and I picked up this. It's a 1987 Yamaha Moto 4 225. I put the bag over the carburetor. It's missing some parts. I've got the plastic, the racks, the seat pan. I picked this up for 120 bucks. Looks like it's had a reasonably new top end. I was told that the guy he got it from, that it threw a timing chain. They tried to fix it and it hasn't run since. There's a few things missing, like a coil. It's got a brand new key switch on it, but I do not have a key for it, so I'll have to order one. Bars are a little messed up. It's got a couple of the wrong parts on it, like these front shocks. As you can maybe tell, it's got some serious negative camber, or positive camber. But I've got a pair of original shocks. I'm not sure what these shocks are off of, but it is most definitely not a 225. So we're going to go ahead and replace those real quick and see if we can't get that lined out. I'll set y'all up in the camera. I'm going to attempt to keep my big head out of the way. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Alright. We'll start with this side. I already broke these loose. One nut. It's missing some parts, but I have most of them. It's missing the muffler, but a group I'm involved in on Facebook for these bikes, a fellow member has one. He's wanting to sell me. So, but I want to see if the engine runs before I go to dumping 100 or more into a muffler. The front pipe I currently have. Yeah, a whole bunch of spacers in that one. Definitely the wrong shock. Bunch of spacers in the bottom one. Pick these spacers up. Alright, we'll take one of our good shocks that is for this bike. We'll go ahead and see about fitting it. Well, that bottom bracket's about, I guess, to accommodate for that larger shock. There we go. Bottom bolts in. Yep, same thing with the top. Oh, wrong way. Oh yeah, it lined out the camber on this side a lot better. Put the nuts back on. It's got the originals in the back. I don't know if they're trying to do a cheap little modified lift kit or what, but all that was going to do was chew up tires. Like the other side, this side's got a bunch of washers in it too. Trying to move y'all to a better location. This bolt does not want to seem to come off very easy. Opposed to the parts it's missing a bunch of nuts and bolts, but I strapped another one of these a month or two ago and kept all the bolts, because you never know. There was just too many high dollar parts missing off that one. Just at that point, you know. Just way too much of it missing. Oh yeah, that was under spring tension. I'm sure my big head's in the way on that. Go ahead and take a hammer and bend these shock mounts out a little. Okay. Take our lower. See if we can't get it squeezed in here. Lower squeezed in. So if we can get the upper, she is down quite a bit now. And there's the upper. Alright, that set that camber a lot back to where it should be. It's got flats on it, so it still looks a little off, which they always have a little camber in the front. Not much I can do about that. But now, oh yeah, now we got travel. The other ones didn't have any travel. Go ahead and put the nuts back on. Like I said, there kind of really wasn't no point in videotaping this. I mean, we're talking about 2 bolts per shock. I'm sure you guys could have figured this out. This ain't rocket science. So I figured just a little update. I am still working on the 94 350, but it is obviously going to have some top end work, which I've got in another video I haven't posted yet. Well, as of this moment, I haven't posted. By the time anybody sees this one, it'll probably already be posted. Alright, that's it. Okay guys, I added some parts. This is the 87. I had a cheap knockoff eBay carburetor on it. It had gotten water in it. I had a spare Mikuni factory original I put on it. Replaced the tensioner. Found these bolts it was missing, but there seems to be enough evidence for me that I don't feel comfortable going with somebody else replacing this jug. One of the cam chain tensioners doesn't exactly appear to be in the right spot, So I'm going to go ahead and pull the jug and piston and take the head off. I figured I'd show y'all how to do this. So let's get started. First, I want to take the cover off. Make sure y'all can see. Yeah. So go ahead and take this cover off. And we're probably going to replace these bolts. It had the wrong ones in it to begin with. These are just some I found and throw in here. It's missing 2 of the 4 head bolts are missing the copper washer it goes with to them. I have them. It is also, I noticed on the cam gear, the bolt for the cam gear, it is missing the washer behind it. So, yeah. There's supposed to be a washer in between the cam gear and this. Stand here with the tripod. Alright. I don't know how well you guys can see, but down in there, there's a mark with a T and there's a line. And then that line right there needs to line up with the top of that case. I might have got something on the lens. See if I can get it to focus. No. No. Focus. Well, there's a little line right there. See how it's not lined up with that top of that case? But, yeah. The top dead center, you want to make sure that's lined up. I don't know how well you guys could see that, but no. Alright. Well, we appear to be lined up, so go ahead and see about not cracking this bolt loose. Well, they don't seem to want to do that, does it? Okay. Well, we're still lined up, so let's try this way. Go ahead and crank the engine back over, make sure it's top dead center. Right there we are. I just don't trust somebody else's shoddy work. I mean, it's missing parts. Make sure it's got the seals and stuff in it. But yeah, we got that loose. Go ahead and keep it there while we finish doing what we're doing. Alright. Yeah, this is the cam tensioner I pulled out. You'll see. That is literally a broken automatic cam tensioner with a bolt sticking out of it. So that's why I replaced that, and that's also why I'm kind of want to pull this. And this chain guide appears to be a little too high, so we're just gonna go ahead and yank these things off. And yeah, because there don't seem to be tension, and this thing should be fully extended. So either that or the timing chain is severely worn, or something is not where it's supposed to be. Yeah, because that was pushed all the way out, and I don't think it was making contact with the chain. So, I mean, it may have to have a timing chain. Who knows? I've got another one. Okay, sorry guys, the sunlight overheated my camera. I'm in direct sunlight. I went ahead and pulled the carb off. It's 2 bolts. Y'all didn't miss anything with that. What was next? Go ahead and pull these 2 bolts back out. I put in yesterday. My big ugly mug out of y'all's way. Y'all see in here? Yeah. We'll see if the camera don't overheat again. It's a possibility. It's like currently 90 something here. So it doesn't surprise me that the camera got unhappy. I'm a little unhappy with this temperature too, but I don't have room in my shop for the other one, or this one plus the other one. Not with my Big Bear in there also, and I keep dropping things. Okay. Well, help if I put that in the right way, wouldn't it? Stupid gnats. Get all those bolts out. Let me go find a piece of wire here, same one from the 350 timing chain video. Alright, let's go ahead and pull this bolt. When we reassemble it, I'll install it with the correct washer. Whoa. Almost a little trouble. Can't weasel this gear and chain out. Okay. And then take our wire, get it through there. You just don't want it to drop down in the case if all you're doing is the top end. knot in it, and then just take it, wrap it around something where it ain't gonna go nowhere. Next we'll take the foretop. If you have an exhaust hooked up, you have to undo the exhaust, of course. I believe these are 14s. Oh, nope. That must be the 350. It's a 14. Those are smaller. My bad. Are they the 12? Let's see. 12. Oh, they're the 12. We have it right here with us. Okay. Maybe a little corrosion on these. I gotta get up and go to the other side and undo the other two. Check the camera. Yeah, it's still recording. Now the sunlight ain't directly beating down on it. There is no bolts on the other side. You have to remove lower like we did on that side, and that's for the timing chain. Boss. One, missing the copper washer. There should be four originally should be 4 copper washers on top. There's 2. This will make 3 and 4. Number 4 here is missing the copper washer, of course. It wouldn't be complete without missing parts. It's also missing the top motor mount. I went ahead and left it off since I decided I was going to go ahead and pull this. Next, let's see if we got any separation on the head. I like it's moving. don't want to throw the missing parts on here, then try to fire it up and find out that they messed up something or didn't put something back correctly, and then the top end grenades. If it did, I've got a whole nother rebuilt motor, and it wouldn't be that end of the world. But okay, we appear to be a little stuck. That's a little new. Might be stuck on those guide pins. So if you're going to pry on it, be careful on these fins, because you will snap them. Okay, that's the head free. Now, I want to take your chain, hold on to it, and fish the head out. Okay, got the head out. Set that off to the side there. Tie your chain back up. Kind of looks like they reused a head gasket. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I do not think that guide chain is in the correct place. Jug up like I just did. Take your chain and again keep it tight. And sort of just lift. Jug up out of the way. And put your timing chain secured back up. The gasket is ripped and missing in places. I'm assuming this is a used gasket again. So there's that. This timing chain I do not believe was sitting in the correct place. Can you play in that? Ooh, that don't feel good. Yeah, it's a good thing we pulled this engine apart, because that wrist pin does not feel good. It's stiff. That is not good. Alright, let me see about, if you're doing this on the machine and not pulling the engine, take you some rags, go under the piston, and try to cover the hole. That way this circlip that we're about to yank does not fly down under and go down in the motor. That'd be very bad. You have a very bad time. Okay. I don't know how well y'all guys are going to be able to see this, but take your pick. There should be a little indentation. Put your finger over it so it don't fly. And there's your clip. Now we're going to see about knocking that pin out. We leave the clip in the other side. Hopefully. Oh boy, that is not good. That should slide very easily, and it does not want to. should have that out now. That was way harder than that should have ever been. Well, I claim to have had it. That most definitely is it. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I see some discoloration. Yep. Well, this engine will have to have a new rod because it was overheated or starved for oil, one of the two. See if I can show y'all. I don't know how well y'all can see, but from here up is discolored, and we have metal shavings. If it'll focus, we have metal shavings, and it is gummed severely in there. So, yeah, cranking this engine's done. Okay, I didn't film it, but I already went ahead and got the motor pulled out. That's the old one with the burned up rod. This is the spare motor I had. It was completely rebuilt by a friend of mine not too long ago, maybe a year. And then it decided to have catastrophic failure in the head, so I swapped the heads out. That's the head off that other engine over there. I didn't videotape pulling it out or putting this one in because it is honestly a handful, plus worrying about the camera. But you just undo all your connections. Connection, pull the speedo, undo your boot. You got a motor mount nut here, one on the very bottom. Down here you can't really see. You've got this in the front. You need to pull your starter and then your top motor mount, and then you just kind of wiggle it out, and that's pretty much everything. Well, that and take the carburetor off just to make a little more room. But I already got the motor mounts back in place, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is the 87 I picked up. I cleaned up the case a little bit, power washed it, but rain has got crap all over it. So, yeah. I did a little bit of rust repair on the frame in a couple places. I got more to do. Like back up in here in the corners and stuff, there's a little surface rust. I had some cables for the choke and throttle. They weren't new, they were used. Found the vent tube, plugged it back up where it goes up here. The vent tube for the carb, I plugged it back in, or run it all the way up here. It's just hanging there. Found the correct brake lever, because this one must be a early 87 because it's got 96 parts on it. It doesn't have the place for the temperature sensor, but I had a gauge without the temperature sensor. The wiring ain't even there for the temperature sensor. It does not have the brake light piece. It don't even have the wiring for it. So 86 rear brake handle. I found the correct. I had it in my parts bin along with the throttle cable, the throttle. It had the correct top. I went ahead and swapped these bars out with a pair I had. Replaced both of these with the bolts. Replaced the cluster. You saw me replace the shocks. My air pod for this one came in. Already installed the air pod. It was missing. I don't know how well you can see. Missing this piece right here. This is the fuse for it. Won't run without it. This down here is the breaker for the auxiliary. It's on the fender. You don't need it to run. Still missing the coil because it hasn't come in a week later. The tank that came with it is a 350 tank. It is the wrong tank, so I got to get a tank and a tank cover. And I got a little bit of wiring left to do. Oh, speaking of wiring, I added this wire for the neutral switch. It was missing. I got to add the one that goes to the battery, like on every one of these bikes. It's missing. And I got to do something with the electrical, and then, you know, cover that so it don't ground out. And that's about all I've done so far on this. This motor's been completely rebuilt before, so there's that. This motor should run really nice. I'm going Friday to go pick up the muffler for it. I have the exhaust pipe right here. This is one I had to do some work on the end. It was all mashed real good, but I already cleaned it up, went ahead and heat temp painted it. I got to get bolts for it, that's why it's not on the bike. So yeah, that's an update on the 87. I got the motor mounts all in. Starter's hooked up. But alright. Also on this bike, I had to do some work. It was missing a bunch of lug nuts, at least 1 to 2 on each side. This side, I had to turn the tire around because the valve still was on the inside. They had the tire on backwards. And this side had like one bolt. It wasn't even tight. It was the wrong bolt for the wrong threads, and they destroyed 3 out of 4 of the lug studs. So I just went ahead and pushed them out of an old one I had and pushed them in this one. Didn't bother videotaping it. Nothing really exciting to see, but